Okay, so if you turn to page 65 in your Chapter 8 packet, we are going to go over some review of how to deal with exponents for the Chapter 8 test. So for this first problem, okay, first thing I'm going to do is turn this into 4 easy problems. So first I do -10 over -14, so that becomes a positive. So it's positive 5/7. M to the -1 minus -7 becomes M to the -1 plus 7, which becomes M to the 6th. Y to the 0 minus -3 becomes 0 plus 3, so that's y cubed. And R to the first becomes R to the 1 minus -4, so it becomes R to the 5th. And that's your final answer. So if you handle it as 4 different problems, easy peasy. Okay, number 2, 16R cubed S to the -5 all over 4R to the -1 S squared. Again, I break it into 3 easy problems. 16 over 4 is 4. R to the 3 minus -1 is R to the 4th. And S to the -5 minus 2 is S to the -7th. Now, I can't stop like this because this is not simplified because we have a negative exponent. So I leave the ones with the positive exponents in the numerator and I move this to the denominator. And that's the final answer. And for number 3, we have -8x squared y squared all over 4x cubed y quantity cubed. Now, I wrote this wrong. I was anticipating there. Okay, so first I have to apply the power of a product rule in the numerator and in the denominator. Now, a negative raised to an even power is positive, so that's a 64 x to the 4th, y to the 4th. I multiply the exponents. 4 cubed is also 64. Now I multiply 3 times 3 is 9, y cubed. 64 over 64 cancels out. X to the 4 minus 9 becomes x to the -5. Y to the 4 minus 3 becomes y to the 1st. And again, I can't have a negative exponent, so I move x to the 5th in the denominator, and that's the final answer, y over x to the 5th. Okay, so for number 4, looks simple enough, but let me show you the most common mistake. Most common mistake is to think these two are attached and you make it 1 over 6 to the 7th. That is wrong because the 6 has its own exponent. The 6 is to the power of 1, so it stays where it is. X to the 7th moves to the bottom, so it's 6 over x to the 7th. Okay, number 5. So I'm going to cube that first term. So 3 cubed is 27. X squared cubed is x to the 6th, y cubed. And the second term is 5x squared times, and I have to do 2 cubed is 8y cubed. So now I have to multiply 5x squared and 8y cubed, and I get 40x squared y cubed. Now, these look like similar terms, but they are not like terms because this is x squared, this is x to the 6th. So this is done. There's nothing else you can do. Those two terms cannot be combined. So you are done. Now for the next one, for number 6, when I square that first term, I get 4x to the 6th, y to the 4th. And I add that to 6x to the 6th, y to the 4th. These are like terms. So when you combine like terms, you keep the term the same and you just combine the coefficients. So that becomes 10x to the 6th, y to the 4th. Okay. Now, number 7, 2x to the negative 2, y to the negative 4, all over 2x squared y to the negative 1. Okay, I have to take care of the power of a product rule first. So 2x to the negative 2, y to the negative 4, 2 to the negative 1, x to the negative 2, y to the negative 1. Make it into 3 easy problems. Now, x to the negative 2 over x to the negative 2, they cancel each other out. 2 to the first minus negative 1 is 2 to the 1 plus 1, which is 2 squared, which is 4. And y to the negative 4 minus negative 1 becomes y to the negative 3. So that becomes 4 over y cubed. And that's the final answer. Now, number 8, we have 2x to the negative 1 y squared all over 3x cubed y to the negative 1. And everything's raised to the negative 2. Before I raise it all to the negative 2, I'm going to simplify what's inside the parentheses. Cannot simplify 2/3 at all. But x to the negative 1 minus negative 3 is x to the negative 4. Y to the 2 minus negative 1 becomes y cubed. Now I raise that to the negative 2. So I get 2 to the negative 2, x to the 8th, y to the negative 6, all over 3 to the negative 2. Anything that has a negative exponent, I'm going to move. So the 3 to the negative 2, which becomes 3 to the positive 2 in the numerator, so that's 9x to the 8th. And I move 2 to the negative 2 to the denominator, becomes 2 squared, which is 4, y to the positive 6. And that's the final answer. And then number 9, I do 5 times 10 to the 10th times 3 times 10 to the negative 12. Number multiplies number, power multiplies power. I get 15 times 10 to the negative 2. And a lesser math student would stop there, not realizing that 15 is not between 1 and 10, therefore it's not scientific notation. So I'm going to change 15 into scientific notation. It becomes 1.5 times 10 to the first times 10 to the negative 2. I add negative 2 and 1, and I get 1.5 times 10 to the negative 1, and that's my final answer. Okay, now you can continue on page 66 and 67 if you need practice graphing exponential functions and finding the rule, and the answers will be posted in the stream.